Next question comes from William, and this is one I've always wondered. Well, we deal with this on a daily basis. The traffic from First Street, even First Street, Fourth Street, all the way out to the bypass, especially at lunchtime. And the question is, are there any plans for a turning lane to be installed on Muskogee Avenue between First Street, and we think that means Fourth Street, and the bypass in the future? Just curious, and thank you.
Yeah.
And I think what we're talking about there is a center lane.
Is that section of Muskogee Avenue between about the beginning of the Plaza Shopping Center on the
Right.
north end, all the way out to Chili's, Walmart, Reeser's, that major intersection with the bypass. Great question. Major challenge for this community. And I would point out that it's not only a challenge in that area, it is a challenge in many areas where our road system was developed through residential areas, and some of them were predominantly agricultural at the time when those roads were developed. And decades later, they have become major arterials for connection of things like, let's take, for instance, 4th Street's a good example. It connects the bypass from the east to the west, as does Allen Road on the north end of the community. When those roads were developed, they were developed to standards and widths that allowed only a certain amount of traffic to go through there. And I can assure everyone that for a very long period of time we have been acquiring additional easements on streets like Allen Road, where we currently have turn lane improvements underway. 4th Street, same thing. We have a project on 4th Street, East 4th Street, to add a turn lane. The real restriction to the question and the specific area that's of interest to this question is the commercial property that exists on either side. Everyone needs to remember that we're really talking about the public property is the roadway itself. On either side of that roadway exists private property. It would take millions of dollars for the city to acquire the additional property that would be needed to add a turn lane through that area. I suspect that will have to be a project that we focus on in the future. We are utilizing every available fund that we can obtain at either the federal level or the state level to supplement our road dollars with the city budget. But it's a great question. It's obviously one that's needed. We know it's a challenge in many areas. It hits kind of right on the money about the real significant traffic problems we have in a community where the streets were designed to one standard, and decades later their use is entirely different, and at least certainly from the volume of traffic there.
Yeah, absolutely.